Okay, everyone, welcome. We are recording now. Again, my name is Janet Vijo Sanchez, and today we are going to talk about getting organized. And I know for some of us it can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's really a great thing for us because it's going to really do not only benefit our lives, but benefit those around us. Again, I want to remind everybody about the chat feature. Please feel free to add your input or ask questions. Again, you can send it to all of us or to an individual. During the session, if you have anything specific that you want to ask, raise your hand, open the chat feature, and I'll try to address everyone's questions as we go through this session. So, again, my name is Janet Vijo Sanchez. I am a professionally certified work and life applications coach and trainer. And I've been doing this for over 20 years. And when I say work and life applications coach and trainer, what my job is to do is not to only teach you this information, but to get you to apply it, to use it in your life. Because that's when change occurs. It's when we practice anything. So remember, if we want to create new habits, change things, improve things in our life, we definitely have to apply them and practice them. Just like anything in life, whether we're good at it or bad at it, we've practiced it and we've made it a priority in our lives. So, again, I want to remind everybody. Look for something that, as we're going through this webinar today, that you want to focus on, and set that as a goal for yourself today. So even if it's a small task, make things in small bits and pieces. Don't overwhelm yourself. Again, welcome, and let's get started. Okay, so our objectives today are to find out, are you organized? And that's something that we each have to ask ourselves, and it is very personal. We have to look at planning it. That's really important because that helps us to prepare and to succeed. Getting the resources that we need. Definitely have to find things that work for us, advice, people that can help us guide their tools, skills, that type of thing, and getting it done, doing it. What it takes for us to get things accomplished. And we're going to discuss, again, getting organized at home and getting organized in the workplace as well. I think a lot of times when we look at organization, we get so overwhelmed because we see the big picture. But the goal here is to start picking at it and doing little bits at a time and to improve our lives. Because what being organized is about is improving our lives and not only adding to our lives, adding to the lives of others, and making our lives simplified. It adds value, and it's really beneficial for us. So statistics, okay? And these are from organizedmylife.com, and these are telling us that cleaning professionals say that getting rid of excess clutter would eliminate 40% of the housework in an average home. National Soap and Detergent Association. How many of you guys believe that? I've been in different times in my life. Yeah, me too. I really do believe that. I've gone a little bit back and forth. And, one thing that I do know is when I can clean my house much more effectively or take care of things at work when I have things in order. So definitely clutter takes a lot of time. Sometimes just getting to the clutter, discourages us from getting the task done. So that can be overwhelming. 1 in 11 American households rent a self-storage space, spending over $1,000 a year in rent and contributing to a multi-billion-dollar industry. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I know personally from experience that when I did have a storage shed, I think in the year that I did have it, I didn't go there once. So we need to really see, are these things we need? We need to really get to know ourselves and understand if we do need the storage shed or are we just collecting items, collecting stuff. 80% of clutter in most homes is a result of disorganization and not lack of space. One of the things that I used to struggle with is the mail. I would let it pile instead of sorting through it, getting it done, putting everything in its place. So, it wasn't that I didn't have the space, it just I wasn't taking care of the clutter. For every hour of planning, 3 to 4 hours are saved from redundancy, waiting for information, not being prepared, and poorly managed tasks. How many of you guys believe that? Excuse me. I know that whenever I have everything in its place, it's organized, and I have a task to take care of, I'm ready to get the job done. when I have to prepare for that task because of clutter, because of disorganization, it gets really frustrating. So again, I want to remind everyone, this is really about taking care of ourselves, making our lives better, and in turn making life better for others as well. You know, it just makes everything so much nicer. It relaxes us, helps us to see things as, we're ahead of the game versus having to get caught up. Any comments, any questions, or anything that anyone else sees that can be a struggle sometimes or that keeps us from being organized? Okay. And not your voice. Okay, Beverly, excuse me, did you call in at the 1866 number? 308? I'm going to send it to you again. If you look up above, there's a message from Alan with the number and the code. And you may want to turn your speakers off on your computer, and you need to call on a phone line, Beverly, if you haven't. Okay, thanks everyone for your patience. Okay, excuse me. Are you organized? Do you find yourself looking for things? One thing that I find everyone's always struggling to look for are their keys. We have to look for solutions for that. So this is very personal. We need to ask ourselves these things, and we need to be honest with ourselves, and even possibly, make a list as to what it is that we're struggling with. Where are we disorganized? So if you're looking for things on a regular basis, it's very likely that, you are unorganized. And one thing I want to remind everybody is this is not about beating ourselves up. This is not about feeling guilty. This is not about seeing what we do wrong. This is really about being honest with ourselves and looking at improving our lives and making our lives work for us versus the other way around. So, again, we're looking for skills, we're looking for tools, and we want to utilize them. Okay, if you look around your space, do you see clutter? Do you see stacks, piles? And for some of us, it's very unique. For some of us, we keep certain things just perfect and pristine, and for other of us, our issue could be just our desk, or we have a couple of junk drawers that we, struggle with. So clutter and disorganization can range in all different ways, shapes, sizes. Can you find your important papers easily? Are you struggling, to find your bills or to find the paper you need for the doctor? I mean, the list can go on and on and on. And what we're wasting here is not only time, but time that we can be spending something fun, with our families, with our friends, possibly exercising. And it gets so frustrating. It causes so much stress in our life. You're welcome, Beverly. And how does this affect your coworkers, your family members? Are people waiting on us because we're unorganized? And again, I don't want people to feel guilty. What I'm looking for is I want you to see that, hey, you know what? We can make a difference. We can change things up, and we can make things work better for ourselves and others. So this is about moving forward, okay? We know we're figuring out where we're disorganized and what we're going to do with it now, okay? Because this is very empowering. Because developing that awareness is 50% of the battle. I always remind people about that. Is when we're honest with ourselves, we develop that awareness, all we can do is go uphill. Because now we're looking for solutions, we're looking for answers, we're looking for tools, skills, everything to help us accomplish our goals. Another thing, are you paying for space outside of your home? And is it honestly really necessary, or are we avoiding dealing with going through boxes, or are we avoiding dealing with clutter, just kind of out of mind, out of sight, out of mind kind of attitude? And think about it. If you're paying for storage space outside of your home and it's not necessary, how much money are you just kind of throwing away? Money that you could use for your savings, for a trip. So we want to keep those things in mind. Again, any comments, any questions, please feel free to chime in on the text or, ask questions as we go along. Okay, are you disorganized? Okay, this is something that we want to talk about. Do your junk drawers have junk drawers? I've gone through organization classes and taken all these, classes and information, and the rule of thumb is we should have one junk drawer. And our junk drawer should have items that we usually go in and grab, quickly. So things like pencils, paper clips, whiteout, something that we're going to go and grab out on a regular basis. So how many junk drawers do you have? When you ask your phone's personal assistant what your day looks like, does it respond, you don't want to know? Because sometimes we have so many tasks, and just trying to get those all organized can be overwhelming. Planning is a very powerful tool, and we can, when we really take control of not just our organization, but organizing our phone, organizing our computers, organizing our workspace, our home space, our sleep space. Simple things such as, is it a struggle every day to get our bed made? Are we looking for clothes? It can get really overwhelming. Do you regularly check your Facebook page to see what you've been up to? Social media has become very, very popular, and is it taking up too much of our time that's causing us to be disorganized? It's what we're allowing and what we're taking control of in our lives. Has your personal philosophy become, if I can't find it, I probably don't need it? The way I look at that is, if I haven't used it, or you're right, I probably don't need it, but I need to get rid of it. So it's not just about finding it, it's about if it has relevance, and it's serving a purpose in your life. There's certain things we hang on to, photos, family heirlooms, things that have value and meaning to us, that we have an emotional attachment to it. And I'm talking about a good, healthy emotional attachment, something that brings us joy or great memories, or even sad memories, but it has to be a part of us. We see people who are organized as suffering from a diagnosable mental disorder. And I want to remind everybody that there is, we see a lot of people that say they're a perfectionist or they're a procrastinator. Well, when it comes down to it, being a perfectionist and a procrastinator are the same thing, because it's never going to get done right. And we're spending so much time getting to that perfection, or wasting so much time because we don't want to deal with it, is we need to, have balance in our life. And, yeah, we want things organized, but we want to have a life and live it, and we're not going to be consumed by this organization. It's not taking over our life. It's a purpose to serve us, to help us find the things when we need them, and to be prepared for any task that is coming before us. So, again, remember, organization, bottom line, is for you. It's to add value to your life. It's to increase your productivity. It's to make your life easier. It's to help others. So it's always going to be about serving you first, okay? Any comments or questions so far? And again, I want everyone to start thinking about what is it that I can work on as far as organization, and if you're really good at it, you've created that habit for yourself, I applaud you. When I first, I was pretty good about it, but when I was first married, my husband was a super organized individual, and it used to kind of drive me a little crazy. But then I started understanding that I saw the benefits in it for him. I started looking at it, instead of being critical, I started thinking, he always finds what he needs. His papers are together, and I started looking at things, and it really changed my perspective, and I started adapting habits that really benefited me. So keep that in mind, Think about whatever's bringing value to your life. Carolyn will kind of address that for you in a minute, but thanks, everyone. Okay, reasons for being disorganized, life situations. Sometimes things in life happen. We have children, our time has changed. We change jobs, or we change work shifts. So all kinds of situations in our life can happen. what I always recommend is, you know what, things happen, get through whatever change you're working on, and then go back and start creating your habits again. You know, there's not, you know, sometimes we have these limiting beliefs that if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen. Well, you know what? Sometimes we just need to maybe take that time off or adjust to that situation or that life change and say, it's okay, I'll take care of this in the 2 or 3 weeks that I need to get through this circumstance, okay? But, hey, you know, the way I look at things is Monday comes every week and we can start over. You know, it's not about beating ourselves up. It's not about feeling guilty. It's about creating the change at the best possible time for ourselves. Our habits, again, as I mentioned to everyone, you know, we have habits that are good and bad, and we're good at, regardless if they're good or bad, we practice them, and we, you know, put a lot of energy and effort into them. So when you're creating new habits, we have to practice them. And if you forget, start again. You know, life is wonderful about that. We can start over any time that we choose. So look at that as an opportunity. Hey, you know, I didn't get it done today, but I can do it again tomorrow, and I can start again every time that I choose to do so. Our family history, how were we raised? Was organization a priority in our home? You know, sometimes it was not. And, again, remind yourself, just because it was that way somewhere else doesn't mean we can create an organized, balanced life for ourselves that's going to be a lot more beneficial. Social behavior. You know, those are things that always affect us. Chronic issues, inability to make decisions about stuff. You know, I want to remind everybody, and we have other items that affect us when it comes to being disorganized. You know, if we are stressed about something, okay, some of us can tend to be shoppers, and we just buy because we're stressed or we're using shopping to relieve some other area of our life. So pay attention to your behavior. Why am I doing this? Ask yourself these questions. Do I really need this? What is the meaning behind it? I can guarantee you that if you have items that are collecting dust, they probably don't have an emotional attachment to you, okay? There's things that my mother has given me that are treasures to me. You know, I have them, I keep them, I look at them, and I enjoy that memory with them. So those are things that we want to keep. But if they're collecting dust, we have piles or we have clothes with tags on them, you know, is that really serving purpose? Is that really bringing value to your life? You know? And then there's just accepted disorganizations. It is what it is, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. Again, regardless of you accept it or not, I'm asking you, does this bring value to your life? Is it encouraging you? Is it helping you? And as far as papers go, I'm going to address really quick for Carolyn and Mary. What we want to do is, if you get online for tax documents, if you go to the IRS website, it'll tell you how many years of tax documents you need to keep. Also a reminder, your accountant should keep them as a digital file, and you can scan them and put them into your computer as well. But I know hard copies are good, but I'm not sure, I cannot be exact, but it could be anywhere from 7 to 10 years of back taxes to keep and shred everything, you know. And a lot of things that we keep, you know, if it's relevant to the future, you definitely want to keep it. Any items that are, you know, Social Security card, birth certificate, and keep them all in the same place, you know, important records. I would even suggest getting a safety deposit box to keep those important items so that you know where you are. A receipt, once you check it off your checkbook register, get rid of it unless you need it for business purposes, you know, unless you're going to return an item. Clean and do it on a daily basis. When you get home, if you've gone shopping, go through your receipts, keep them in your checkbook register till you check them off, and then get rid of them if there's no need. As far as the equipment user manuals, Mary, I would, if you don't have the equipment, let me tell everyone, because I've done that myself. If you guys have manuals to computers or TVs that you no longer have, toss them out. You know, try to update. You know, me and my husband do, honestly. I'll get with you, Mary Beth, on emails. That's going to come up, and I have some really great solutions for everyone. But what me and my husband do every year is the new year, we go through our file cabinet together, and we sit and we shred and we get rid of all kinds of stuff. All our important papers are kept in a safety deposit box, and I remind everyone for life planning, we have our names on it, and we have the two other people in case anything happens. But, every year it's something we do, and it's usually the second or third week in January, and we sit down together, get our coffee, and enjoy the time together. So create things that work for you. And again, as we go through class, everyone, today I'm going to give you more and more ideas, so I hope you can help, and thank you guys for asking questions. Roadblocks to good organization, homeless items and tasks. How many of you have ever heard a place for everything and everything in its place? My husband's funny because he says that all the time. We have 8 children, and we only have 2 at home now, but we're constantly reminding them of that. And that motto has come to prove so beneficial in our lives. So if we have things that are homeless, we need to figure out where they go. And I know a lot of us, and I used to have a terrible habit of, I'm going to use it later. Well, later isn't now. So put it where I can find it later, because if I tell myself I'm going to use it later, later is. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, putting everything, regardless if I'm using it later or not, in its place makes a huge difference. Inconvenient storage. Sometimes we have pots and pans we only use, for Christmas or holidays. Yeah, you want to put them up and away. But if you're using something on a regular basis, you need to get to it. You need to create convenient storage. Think about it. Make a plan. Overly complex organization systems. You know what? If it has more than 5 items on how to do it, that's way too much work. So make it simple. Make it work for you. It has to work in your space, in your life. Having more stuff than space available. Again, look at what you have. Is it bringing value to your life? Do you really need it? A lot of times people have clothes in there, for every size that they were, for every season. Rule of thumb is if you haven't worn that item, other than seasonal, within the last 6 months, you're probably not going to. And I'm going to let everybody know, life is funny. When we make room and we get rid of stuff and we give to someone else, that's going to allow more things to come to us. So if you want a new wardrobe, get rid of that old stuff so that when you're ready to buy something new, you're not thinking, I have too much stuff already. You're opening doors and closing doors. So don't limit yourself. Share the items that you have. Be generous. Give them, and, we're going to get more of new clothes, new items, new ideas, new concepts. The out-of-sight, out-of-mind mindset isn't helping us. We need to make sure that our lives are organized and we're able to use the things that we have. And if it's not doing any good, give it to someone who can use it. There's always someone out there who needs something. A fear of losing your individuality. You know what? Every one of us is an individual. There's no other one like you. Bottom line, I see everyone as perfect, whole, and complete at this moment in time, bottom line. So your individuality will never be lost. And the things that we have aren't what make us. It's what's within us that makes us. So don't worry about stuff like that. The belief that organizing is boring. You know what? It may be a chore we don't want to do, but gosh, it's going to make our lives simple and exciting and really help us. Unclear goals and priorities. I always remind everybody, take the time to sit down, ask yourself questions, get a piece of paper, and address each issue as you go. It really opens up our awareness and our insight maybe to something that's blocking us. And sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but how many of you say on a regular basis, I can't do that, or I don't like that, or I hate that, or change is so difficult? That's limiting self-talk. We want to get rid of that because it's not serving us. It's not helping us move forward in our lives. So when we catch ourselves saying, I can't, I won't, I hate, change bothers me, remember, change is happening 24/7 in our lives. And change is what helps us to grow and to evolve and to become the best possible person that we can. So I always look at, being open to any new ideas or concepts. Okay, procrastinators and monitors. Okay, what are you waiting for? There are always things in life that we want to do first. But think about this, everyone. When we take care of business, we get things organized, when we go and do the thing that we want to do, there's nothing in the back of our mind telling us, gosh, I should have done this, or I need to do this. When we're prepared, when we're organized, we're able to really enjoy that time. Okay, so that's kind of the benefit. We don't have those worries, too much or not enough time. Well, the time that we have is right now. The past is the past, can't do anything to change that. But what we're doing right now can create a much better future for us. So really, what are we doing right now? Is my time being used effectively? And tomorrow never comes, and when it does, it's today. And that's true. But what did we do with yesterday? If we're using our time wisely and we really care about ourselves and bringing the best to our lives, we're going to take care of ourselves, which in turn takes care of others. And then weightlifting. We're really good at waiting. Well, when my life is perfect, I will take care of it. We do things to ourselves. When I lose 20 pounds, I'm going to do this. Life is right now, everybody. We want to have the best possible life that we can right now and do everything that benefits ourselves. And again, when we're taking care of ourselves first and doing everything, I guarantee that tomorrow is going to be a better day. I guarantee that those around you are going to be, enjoying that. We're going to be learning. We're setting that example, for ourselves and for others as well. So we definitely want to just be aware of where we're at and be honest with ourselves. And I am reading everybody's messages on the side, and if I don't get to it right away, I will definitely address it either toward the end or when we come upon that subject, okay? Okay, organization skills, separating fact from fiction. Myth, organizing is the same as being neat. Not necessarily. I think they sometimes can go hand in hand, but being organized is about how space looks. It's not about how space looks, but how it works, how it functions for you. Okay? And that's a personal thing. Some of us like things to look really neat, and some of us just want it to work. So that's really about you. I'm a person where I like my organization to look nice. My husband just likes it to function. Okay? So it's very personal. Myth, being organized is a talent you're either born with or not. So untrue. All of our behavior is learned behavior. It's behavior, it's skills that we've practiced or done. And if we're not organized, it's because we've practiced that, all right? So it's a learnable skill, and it takes steps, and we have to practice it. And, it can be trial and error. Something may work and something may not, and there's always other information out there and available to you. So don't limit yourself. If something isn't working, if it just doesn't stick with you or doesn't feel natural, look for something else. Myth, organizing is about throwing things away. No, it's not. It's about putting everything in its place. You can keep everything that you want and still get it organized, So it's not about getting rid of things always, but, it is about just having it organized. Again, excuse me, what I want people to remember is when it comes to things, are these things adding value to your life? Do they bring you joy? Excuse me, are they a necessity? So really keep that in mind, because things aren't who we are. Things are something that we use, okay? Okay, why get organized? What's the carrot? So what are we looking for? Why do you want to get organized? What benefits do you see in getting organized? And that's something, excuse me. Sorry, everyone. That's something that's very personal. Why do you want to get organized? For me, it was I wanted to find everything when I needed it. I absolutely hate searching for something. I do not like when I can't find it. And in all honesty, I had to be that example to not only my coworkers but to my family. So for me, that was the reason. That was my carrot. So ask yourself, what's my reason? What is it? What benefits do I want from this? Why do you want? You always want to ask yourself, why do you want to get organized? How it's going to improve your life? And the list is going to be amazing. So when you write these things down, ask yourself, why do I want to get organized? How is it going to benefit my life? And you're going to see that's going to be your motivation. It's going to take you some time, but it's going to be time that is exceptionally well spent. You're going to be so excited that simple task. When you enter the door, we have hooks for keys, because keys it's a nightmare when you have all these people in your home and you can't move a car. So that was something that we just instilled in everyone. So you know what? It's so wonderful to find our keys. Being organized, having your clothes in order, clothing in order. When you're going to find something to wear, it's there. Can you imagine all the stress that's being released from your life? So think about this. It's really going to make your life so much better. Background stress. It's the little things that count. So, you want to do things a little bit at a time, and you want to relax about it. Is there someone that wanted to say something? Okay. So relax about it. Find something that works for you. Don't make it something that's going to be such a big chore as much as it's going to be something that you can do together. Like I said before, me and my husband get together every beginning of the year to go through our files and clean them out and decide that and make those decisions together. I don't know about you guys, but someone says, hey, do you remember that paper? And you say, well, I got rid of it. Well, when you're together, you can make that decision and kind of, because my mindset may be a little bit different than someone else's. So, as couples, sometimes it's easier to make those decisions together, and then it's something you share together. It's fun. And, control the control freak. It doesn't, my way or the highway. Again, open your mind up to different options, different possibilities. Sometimes just looking at how someone else does it just kind of also takes that stress away. Allow someone to help you. Let go and, let the opportunities come in. Get the thorns in your side. It's so frustrating when you're looking for your bills or you forgot to pay a bill because it's not where it was. I guarantee you when your bills are in order, you're going to remember when to pay them. You're going to relieve all these side effects and all these issues. And I can't stress this enough that overall it is going to help your mental health, your physical health, and that's what this class is really about, is helping everyone here to live the best possible life. And organization does that, I guarantee it. And just starting with something simple. Less stress means you're going to have a better life. You're going to have a healthier life. We're going to be lowering blood pressure. We're not going to be angry because we can't find our keys. We're not going to be frustrated because we can't find the appropriate clothes to get together. Even things like when we want to exercise, creating a habit to exercise. Well, our exercise clothes are in the same place every time, So this is going to really alleviate the stress in your life, everyone. And again, this is about you. It's about taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority. What being organized does for you, reduces stress. Hands down. Again, we're not getting angry because we're looking for something. We're not frustrated. We're not overwhelmed. It makes a good impression. And it's not only about impressing others, but it makes us feel good. It's a gift to ourselves and to others. And we're also setting that example for our children, for our peers. When someone's having a struggle with something and we're organized, they can come to us and say, hey, how did you go about that? And we can be that guiding light, and it just makes everything function and flow much more smoothly. It can be a safety issue. When we have things laying around and we have children, they can get hurt. They can get harmed. A small thing such as a paper clip on the floor can be deadly. So we have to keep those items in mind. When we have things around our desk area or in our home that are on the floor, we can slip and fall. Injuries can happen. So keep that in mind. Decluttering is definitely a safety issue. It can ease relationships with others. I know, again, personal experience. The organization in my life makes a difference when it comes to my relationships. There's no arguing going on because we can't find something. At work, up here, when they come to you and they're looking for a document, it's taken care of. It's organized. And even if the task isn't done, you know where it's at. You can pull it out, and you can say, you know what, this is where I'm at. And sometimes that's all someone really wants to know. When we're looking through the papers and going through everything, that can be so frustrating and overwhelming, not only for ourselves but for others. So, I want to remind everyone that our relationships are the main thing in our lives, and taking care of those relationships is so important. And if organization helps that, why not? Definitely increases productivity. It keeps us going. We find everything we need. When we leave the task, if we organize things and we come back to it, we know where we left off. Get rid of those piles on your desk. Don't get rid of those piles of papers that you don't need to. And I know it's going to take some time, but start with one pile at a time. Create file folders, and you definitely save money because you're saving time, you're saving energy, you're not buying something again because you can't find it. How many of you have bought something because you cannot find it? You put it somewhere and you have no idea where it is. I've done that, and I don't like spending money that I don't have to spend, especially on something that I already have. So definitely, when it comes to me, I want to save the money, so I'm going to put it where I can find it. So it really, really helps. Really, really helps everyone. So think about that. You're saving money, you're saving time, you're having a better relationship, you're safe, you're making a good impression, you're being an example, and you're less stressed. That's a lot of great stuff there. Planning. I always tell everybody, go room by room and evaluate. Make lists. And even if room by room is even too overwhelming for you, start with a corner. Start with a bookshelf. Start with a desk. Start with a drawer. Whatever works for you. And then you're going to kind of get that feeling that, hey, this really is great. Everyone, what I want you to do right now is think of a space that's disorganized, that you're struggling with. Close your eyes just for a second and just picture that space perfect. Whatever it is, it's perfect. It's organized. You can find everything, whether it be your closet, a drawer, the top of your desk, your garage. I don't care what it is, but just really sit down for a second and just see that space perfect. Visualize it as together, organized. You can find everything that you need. And that feeling, that relaxed feeling, that good feeling is what's going to happen in your life. You're going to create that. Divide and conquer. Start by sorting, like things together. Don't overthink it. Don't make it into a big old deal. Just make it simple, and get online. When I can't figure something out, I Google everything. Or ask a friend that has a really good organization skills. Lots of great tools. Also, when you're organizing information, especially your computer, your phone, those type of things, there's a website called wonderlist.com. I'm going to type that in for you guys. And that links all of our calendar, our phone, our iPad, whatever it is that you have, and creates a place for all of our documents if we want to, all of our calendar events, that as well. Decide what to keep, sell, donate, throw away. Remember, when we're sharing what we have, when we're giving things, that allows things to come back to us, okay? So that's really powerful. And if it doesn't mean something to you, just get rid of it. Don't worry about it. If you have that, I might need it in 10 years mindset, well, who knows what's going to happen in 10 years? Let someone else reap the benefits of it and see what you might need 10 years down the road. Okay, what do you need? Think about resources, plan ahead. Don't overbuy bins and all that stuff. Just get the basics. Get an A to Z file, a few bins and baskets, some drawer space, labels, a garbage can so you can throw it out, and set up the time. Even if you say, okay, I'm going to work on organization 10 minutes or 30 minutes twice a week. Don't say I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to get my whole house organized. Oh my gosh, that's way overwhelming. Start out small, and if you want to add to that, that's fine. But don't overwhelm yourself. But get the basics. Make a plan. Write down, okay, this is why I want it organized. This is what I'm going to organize. These are the items I need, and this is the date and time I'm going to do it. Make it simple for yourself. Again, don't start off where it's going to overwhelm you. I'm getting organized at home. Some things you need two of, but if you don't need two of it, get rid of it. Have an empty cabinet and drawers backup as much as you can. Save one object, donate another. Find a good place for everything and put everything away in its place. That's a family motto over here. A place for everything and everything in its place. Make it simple. Don't overthink it. Don't go out and buy 10,000 bins and sometimes some things need to be in small bins, some things need to be in big things. Paper needs to be in file cabinets. The thing is Carolyn mentioned crafts, right? If you're working on a craft project that has to stay out, okay, you have a space that can handle that. If you don't have a free space for that craft project, you're going to just have to create a habit of putting it away and then pulling back out when you have time to work on it. If you have space for that where you can leave the project out, that's fine. Leave it out. And if you catch yourself not getting back to it for a while, maybe you need to go back and rethink that. So find a good place for everything. Make it simple and break your organizing into small projects. Don't, again, tackle it in a whole day. Set goals. And once you accomplish that, pat yourself on the back and move on to the next. And a reminder, once you do organize that space, on a daily basis, keep it up. Go back and put everything back where it goes. So make that a reminder, because it's going to take time for you to create that habit of organization. I just want to remind everybody about that. You have to practice it. You have to apply it. You have to use the tools. Okay, getting organized at work, and I'm going to address the email here. Okay, how many of you have over 10 emails in your inbox on a regular basis? Okay, if that's the case, you need to create more files on your email, okay? So the trick here is as you open your email, you need to address it right then and there. If you can't, you need to have a file that it goes to for addressing. So everyone else tells me, I don't want too many email files. Well, you know what? That's a super tool you're not taking advantage of. So on your Outlook or whatever system you use, create files for absolutely everything. And if you have one person you work with and then you do certain things with them specific, create files within files. And move your emails to those files. If you have an email that you look at and you need to delete it right away, okay? But create all those files on your left-hand side, and if there's an item that needs to be addressed today, use your flags. Use the information that's there. If you don't know how to use some of these features in Outlook, if you go to Microsoft Office, they have free tutorials to do that. So go to Microsoft Office, click on tutorials, and they're free for every aspect of Microsoft Office, okay? You don't have to pay for a class. You don't have to you don't have to go somewhere to take it. You can do it online. They're short, they're video, and written down, so take advantage of that. But create those files in email, okay? Rule of thumb is you shouldn't have more than 5 to 10 emails in your inbox at a time. And then set specific times aside to address them. So let's say you're working on a project. Create an email for that project, a file, and then move them over so that when you're looking for that email, it's filed, you know where to go, you know where the information is. And break it down. Create as many files as you need. That's really going to help you say, okay, I remember I got this email. It has the data for this project. Go to this file. It's open. It's right there. You're not scrolling down 100 inbox emails, okay? So, again, If you don't have the tools on, if you're not aware how to function and use the Office Outlook, go to Microsoft Office, and they're available there to you. Only keep what you're working on at that moment. What happens is we get distracted, we get disorganized. If we have to change tasks, get what we're working on, put it aside where it goes, and then we can get back to it. If you don't have an A to Z file, create it and use it, okay? Think before you print. If you don't need to print it, don't. Remember, we can keep multiple windows open nowadays. It's really a great function. Again, I can't stress enough, create files. That's what they are for. Everybody, don't worry that you're not going to find it. The search options available on Outlook and Microsoft, you put in just a simple word, and you find stuff so quickly. And you'll probably find something you forgot you had that's going to benefit you. I guarantee that if you create these files and you use your search option, you're going to find the information so much quicker than scrolling down through that inbox. And I know it worries some of you because I used to feel that way as well. But take the time to create organization within your computer, in your phone. Get rid of apps you're not using. If you're scrolling through your phone and you have a ton of apps, get rid of them. You want to create the mindset where you're only handling things once. So if you catch yourself scrolling or you have websites or you have links that you don't use, clear them out, get rid of them, okay? And again, if you need help with that, talk to someone you work with. Our kids know this stuff great, or go again to Microsoft Office. Free tutorials, free training, anywhere from basic to, professional level training. Storage pros and cons, There are times when you may need to store some items. It can free space up for us, and we also want to create space for storage of office supplies, that type of thing. So there are pros to it, okay? And the thing is to try to be organized with that storage so we know where to go. So if we have extra office supplies, we put them in a box or in a certain place, and we label them, okay? Cons, storage can be a delay of decision-making on what to do with stuff. Okay, we'll just put it in this box, we'll deal with it later. Well, that's not organization, that's procrastination. Before you put things in storage, make sure you know why they're going to serve a purpose, and if not, get rid of them. Out of sight, out of mind. Again, we're not dealing with it. An off-site storage can be expensive. Why are we giving our money away when we don't need to? And also it makes a problem. One thing that we want to be organized with is our lives, because if something happens to us, what are we leaving for those behind? And I've been through that personally. I've had to deal with situations where there was a mess, and it's overwhelming, it's stressful, and it makes the loss even harder. So think about those that you're going to leave behind. Have it prepared for them. And what we're not only doing is we're preparing, but we're also teaching them, okay? So do your best to make everything as organized, not just to make your life easier, more enjoyable, but to be the example and again, it's going to benefit others. Time organization challenges. Sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day to do everything that you need to do, right? These are 4D strategies. And also, I'm not sure, but if everyone needs to get a copy of the presentation, we'll be glad to get that to you as well. And this is some really good tools here. But delete the task, Decide based on your priorities what you won't be able to do or accomplish that day. A lot of times when we're disorganized, it's because we have a problem saying no. If you have a struggle saying no, one thing that I've taught many clients to do is let people know, hey, I can't answer you right now, but I'll get back to you. That allows you the time to think and know if you're able to do that. So if you can't say no, don't answer yes, but let them know you'll get back to them. And again, that way you can decide if it's a task you want to take on. Delay the task. Determine what's still important to be done, but you can delay it until a later time. You've got to be careful about procrastination. If you're going to plan for later, make sure that that's going to happen. Diminish the task. Try to determine the most efficient way to get the task done without using the maximum amount of time. And that just takes a little bit of thinking and planning on our part, and sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes we just learn as we go. And again, I really stress to everybody, don't take organization on all by yourself. If you have anyone there to help you, let that help come in. Work with it with your significant other, your spouse, your children. If your mom's a great organizer, call mom in to help you. So, or delegate the task, See if you can find a helper, someone else that can help you complete it, or that they can complete it on their own. And it's also empowering, it's encouraging. Receiving help is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I know for a lot of people it's hard to receive. We're great at giving, but it's hard to receive. But don't close doors for great opportunities, okay? When it comes to a problem, some clutter's healthy to a certain point. One of the things I hear people say is sometimes we're tired, and that's okay. And every now and then, if we don't want to make our bed, that's okay. But, again, it's to a certain point. We have days where we just don't want to do anything, and we just catch up the next day. But I always keep that in mind. If it's lasting more than 1 or 2 days, we need to address it. When you think it may become unhealthy and you feel you cannot throw things out, or you want, that overwhelming feeling, or you feel out of control, that's when we want to call our EAP, Employee Assistance Plan. There are counselors that are designed to help with these situations. Take a class on organization. All of the community colleges are offering these, and they even have stuff online. Find a support group. Don't limit yourself. Don't feel guilty, because guilty is a self-defeating, it benefits no one. I always think about, hey, there's a solution. I'm aware of this. How can I move forward? Clearing the space in your head. When I have time, I'll get it done. Well, we have to create that time. We have to make it, and that's where we, number one, decide why we want to get organized, how we're going to do it, and we plan the time for it. If it can't be perfect, why do it? Well, you know what? It's not about being perfect. It's about having a better life and an organized life, finding everything when we need it, and being relaxed and relieving the stress. When we set limiting thoughts, we're limiting our lives. I know I've not used it in years, but someday I will. Again, if it's not something that you use for the holidays or different things, and you just keep collecting more and more of it, is it really adding value to your life? What's in control, the things or you? Again, this 36-step plan to get organized looks good. That's a little overwhelming to me. Again, if it takes more than 5 steps, I'd really avoid anything than that. All we really need is why we want to get organized, make a plan, write it down, and really work off. And those new storage containers will make it so much easier. Storage containers serve a purpose, but again, they can be overwhelming. 5 stages of loss. Denial, it's not so bad. Bargaining, okay, we'll catch up. And anger, depression, what's the point? And acceptance, okay, I got this. So we want to always be aware of those things, but we want to move forward. We're getting toward the end of the presentation, everyone. So if anyone has any questions right now, I'd be glad to answer them. Anything specific? And our personal items, things that we've held on to, we get very attached to them. So, build these things and understand them. Okay, and this is our last item here. But again, if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. It says, God grant me the sanity to accept the things I have to keep and the courage to throw away the things I do not need and the wisdom to know the difference. And, yeah, they've changed the prayer up a little bit here, everyone. But, again, things are for our benefit. They're to bring value to our life. They're to add to our lives and make our lives easier and simpler, not to overwhelm us, not to just cause us to be stressed out. So, again, I encourage everyone. I need to say that every day too, Carolyn, thanks. But, everyone, I encourage you, if you need help with being organized and it's something a little bit overwhelming for you, call your employee assistance program. Ask others for help. Start off small and make your life easy. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Just start off slow and take small steps. And again, it's all about adding value to your life, to benefiting, and making things easier for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and open the floor. Any comments or questions? And again, if anyone needs the webinar presentation, you can reach out to Mary and she can get a copy of it to you. And if anything comes up later, any questions, let Mary know. She can get to me and I'll be more than glad to answer or address. So again, I want to say thank you to everyone for being here today. I applaud you for being proactive in your self-care. And take advantage of these opportunities to get organized, and everyone enjoy your holidays. So thank you so much for being here, and we're going to sign off. Thank you so much.